Hello to all of you, welcome to Car Question. This is Matt talking, and we're gonna try the new Nissan Maxima this week. I am an happy man because it's the SR version, it's the more sporty one, and Nissan has been telling us that it's gonna rival with all those Audi and BMW right now on the market. You know, they're giving a great feeling of driving, they're giving a good performance level. Is the Nissan Maxima gonna be up to what Nissan is telling us? That's what we're gonna see this week at Car Question. Look at that exterior. I just love when a car manufacturer is doing something unique with their car, and Nissan has done a good job with that. Their inspiration was the Blue Angel. Yes, those are the jet fighter pilots. And when you look at the styling, look at the windows right there on the side, look at the roof, the design that has been made with the car, and it's looking like a canopy of a jet fighter airplane. Even the lines that they put in the car, you just want to fly to win. Unique design, unique styling. I post a lot of pictures of the car I try on the Facebook pages of Car Question, and everybody was unanimous with that. The car is good looking, and yes, Nissan, you have done a good job with that. When you look at the older version, that is nothing to compare to this one. So you've got the V shape in front. Look at that, the big logo of Nissan. You've got the V shape of the chrome part right there. They're using plano black accent, and right under that, another thin line of chrome, once again with the V shape. The unique signature of Nissan is becoming their Boomerang Lights. Right there, you've got the form of the boomerang. When the daytime headlight is turned on, this is going to light up, and it's all LED all the way around. And you've got a nice inscription, which is 4DSC inside, which means 4-door sports car. And yes, it is a sports car when you've got 300 horsepower in that little baby. Unique line, unique styling, I just love that. Look at the hood, you know, there's a bulge right there on the hood, which is reminiscent of the old car, you know, when you had a V8 engine and they had to sculpt the hood to fit the engine inside, and I just love how it's good looking right there on the Maxima. I hope you see that on the camera, but when you're inside driving, this is insane. Just love those lines. Right on the side, once again, there's a line starting all the way up from here, which is going to make some kind of wave, and the line is just going to disappear right there on the side. And when you move back to the rear lights, once again you've got the 4DSC inscription, which is written right here. The boomerang styling on the side right there, boomerang styling when it's turned on right there, and there's another line starting up all the way from here, which is still going to disappear in the rear door. And when you move a little bit lower, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some kind of bolt right there, another line which is going to give a completely unique styling to the car. If you're wondering what has happened to this headlight, it's taking humidity. That's kind of bad, but we detected some traces of impact on the car, so probably another journalist wasn't careful enough and probably hit the light. So we're not gonna put the fault on Nissan on this one. Piano black accent, chrome accent. Look at the thin line on the C-pillar. Completely good looking. Piano black accent mirror too. Chrome handle. So we've got the SR version, and that means the bigger wheels. So you've got Goodyear Eagle F1 all-season tire, which is going to be 245/40/19. These are huge wheels, but I love the styling of them. They are quite looking good. So the new Maxima is 1.3 inches lower and 2.2 inches longer. So you're gonna have more space with this one. V-shape once again on the truck, but inverted for this one. You've got your SR chrome logo right there, and you've got twin exhaust pipe, which is gonna give a good sound. You know, this 3.5 engine, when you make it rev, it's just sounding awesome. So for the exterior part, good job Nissan. I just love the new Maxima. Let's go with the interior parts of the new Maxima. As soon as you open it, you can see the build quality, the material that they've used are unique but also impressive to the touch, and it's all well finished. Look at that stitches. The stitches is the same color of the car that we have right now. This is a unique attention, and I just love that. Piano black accent, chrome accent, some silver lining right there. It's plastic, but it doesn't look cheap. You've got also Alcantara, which is used right there. You're gonna see also the same material that's gonna be used on the steering wheels, and even in the seats. The seats are good looking also. So once again, all the buttons, even if they are plastic, doesn't look cheap, and you've got a good soft material right there, which is gonna be comfortable if you put your elbow up when you are driving, right up in the door. If we step inside, as soon as we close the door, you can see that this car has a good insonorization. Once again, the silver lining is going all the way up there. You've got also the stitches that you can find right there, everywhere on the dashboard. Same soft material here. Nice quality of black, and look at the steering wheel. This is a sports-inspired steering wheel. You can see the flat bottom right there, and look at the finishing right there on the side. Same material that you're gonna find on the door, on the seats, and you know, that's a well done, well executed interior for the new Nissan Maxima. Once again, they got the inspiration of a jet fighter airplane, so this part right here is turned 7 degrees toward the driver, and those are the little difference right there that made this more accessible. So you're driving, it's turned toward you, and you're gonna be able to get access to all the function within the reach of your finger. We're gonna turn on the car right there. You can see the animation, push, there you go, Nissan logo, the car right there, which is gonna turn. and there you go, the car is started. Right now it's in the sports mode display. This is a new display for the Maxima this year. This is an 8-inch display, and as soon as you change it, you can change it with the button that you have right there. I said 8-inch, sorry guys, but this is the one which is 8-inch. This one is a little bit smaller, but it's quite big and it's quite complete. The buttons are quite small when you press on the source button. This one is smaller, but you know, when you want to change, if it's the radio or anything else, this is quite easy. For the cruise control, I tend to push right there on the top and try to access it, but I have to push in the lower part of the button to access it. For the menu, once again, simple. You've got a display which is the power mode, and the power mode is going to display on the left side your oil temperature, on the right side your transmission temperature, the CVT transmission, and the display in the bottom is the power of the engine. And listen to that. I just love the sound of that 3.5, 300 horsepower, yeah. So you've got shift paddle right there. Once again, everything inside the car is easy access, quite looking good. You can have also the display of your tire pressure. Driving aids in the front, so you've got an adaptive cruise control. You've got also your blind spot monitoring, and the blind spot monitors are right there. So I told myself, oh no, once again, you've got display which is inside the mirror, but you know what, these are large. It's a large yellow dot that's going to appear, and it's going to show you that there's somebody in your blind spot, and they're working perfectly. For the rest of the display, you've got the fuel economy, but don't rely on that. We just resetted it and get the car in the garage, so it's not displaying what you're going to do with the car. So you're going to be able to do 8.67 if you're careful with the car, but if you move it to sports mode, it's going to go up probably all the way around 10. Once again, clear, the use of blue, white, clean display, easy to read and easy to change with those buttons. So if we move to the central part right there, you've got your 8 inches display, as I told you about, and you've got your menu, you've got your maps, you've got your audio setting. You can change also the music and everything, and once again, it just reacts quickly. You've got some iPhone style movement when you're in the map feature, so if you want to move from this part to this part, you can simply slide it, simply slide up, simply slide down, and there you go. You can see that they try to mimic some of the iPhone feature. You've got your rear view camera, which is also good when you're looking at it, a great display with all the lines, so if you're turning your steering wheel, you're gonna see also the orientation of the car. That's gonna take the temperature, dual zone. Once again, big knobs, easy to change, to push up or down, or change simply where you want your temperature, where you want your air to go. Once again, easy button, you know, and accessible. You've got your start stop engine button right there. Well, if you inspire the interior from a jet fighter, I thought it would be metallic or something like that, but they're using the same plastic that we can find in some other cars of the model. If I open that compartment, look how deep it is, and right now, there you go, I've even find some parts that I lost, and it's deep enough to put an iPhone 6. You've got 2 USB connectors, your auxiliary port right there, and you can put your phone there and close it. But if you got your wire hanging out like that, see, it doesn't close that good, so be careful. If you're using your connector and you want to put your phone there, you're gonna have to leave that compartment open. 2 cup holders, and our car is equipped with the heating seat, and you've got also the cooling seat. But the problem is, when you're in the dark, you don't see, there's no light in those buttons, so the only thing that you're gonna see is this little dot right there, this little LED, but it won't tell you if you're a cooling position or a heat position, so you have to play with it. You just have to remember that it's 3 position, but you're gonna get used to that. You've got your CVT that can be switched into manual mode right there, and you've got also a big knob, a few buttons that you can still control what you want with your screen. So if you're more of a turning knob guy, there you go, no problem. And if you're more of a tactile person, you can still use the tactile interface. You've got some Nissan application. I don't quite use that. I don't know why, probably because it's not the best one around, but if you're a geek or something like that and you want more connected application, it's there for you to find that. So you've got your normal mode and sports mode right there. If you put it into sports mode, you're going to be able to hear more the engine inside, and that is cool when you press on the gas pedal, because this car is awesome. The sound is just incredible when you drive this car around. Besides that, you've got deep glove box right there, some nice touch of materials, and look at those seats. The seats that they've used in the Nissan Maxima are zero gravity seats, so once you're sitting inside them, you are so comfortable. For the back seat, look how good finish it is once again. So if you're sitting there, if you're a tall guy, you won't have that much clearance for your head, but once you're going to be in, you're going to be comfortable. And I'm going to show you another thing with the car. I'm just going to turn on the headlights, pull the hood to show you, and open the trunk. And by the way, guys, also a nice and neat adjustment. Sorry for the beeping. You've got a handle right there, and oh look, some red meat. So you have to clean it, but you know, just this little extension of a few inches is going to give you great comfort for your legs. I told you before about the Boomerang Lights. Look at that, nice LED bar, nice sliding. And let's open that hood to check out the compartment. The big V6 engine, 300 horsepower. Battery, the computer is near the battery though. I don't quite like that position, but we're gonna have to do with it. If we move to the back seats, as I told you, nice, good comfort. Once again, the use of the same stitches that you're gonna find inside and on the front seat. You've got your little compartment right there. You've got your air dam that is going to give you a good air. You've got some pouch that you can put in some documents. And if we move to the trunk, 14.3 cubic inches, it's not that big when you compare it to other manufacturers, to other rivals car. And I don't quite like the finish of those, you know, those little handles. They could have put some plastic button right there. So you have to pull on it, and sometimes you move forward. There you go. Now it's moving, but I had to do that twice before I pulled the seat down the last time that I tried them. So when you put those seats down, they're kind of wide, and you tend to be losing some spaces with that big angle right there, but it's giving you a big great opening to the rear spaces. You've got your children's seat latches right there that you can tie that to. And when you look at the trunk, look how well finished it is. So you've got great material, for sound isolation right there. When you close your trunk, even if you put a lot of stuff in it, this part is just gonna go right there in and won't be in the way. If we move right there under the mats, isolation, nice materials, styrofoam, full spare tire. I just love it that way because I don't want to use some kind of kit, because I don't like kit. I prefer to have a big spare and I won't have any problem. Standard rear view camera, solid sound. Once again, solid sound. Boom. And boom. Exterior is solid, interior is solid. That's what we like. Let's talk about the fuel consumption. Nissan did a great job because they improved the fuel consumption by 15%. So in reality, what we did with our testing was around 8.6, 8.7. We did even some tests that were lower than that, but you know, we were pretty conservative. If you move into sports mode, be prepared to go over the 11 liter per 100 kilometers. But in real numbers, when you look at the papers of Nissan, you're gonna see 10.9 in town and a 7.8 on the highway. So you're gonna have a combined of 9.5. For a 300 horsepower car, I think that's okay. Alright guys, let's talk about the road handling of the new Nissan Maxima. First of all, it's hard. Its engine, it's the best part of it, I think. It's the 3.5 liter VQ engine that you can find in a lot of other vehicles of Nissan. Think about the Altima 3.5, think about the 350Z, and this engine is tough as hell. It's one of the most reliable engines that you can find right now on the market. And what they have done for the Maxima is completely check it out, change some parts. Over 60% of its parts are all new, and you even get some inspiration coming out from the GTR. They put sodium in the valve. Let me explain you why. If you take a pot and you put it on your stove with nothing inside, no water, and you turn the heat on, the temperature is going to be so high that it might deform your pot. And if you put water in it, the temperature is going to be more dissipated, you know. It won't bend, it won't change form, and that's why you always have to put something on your pot so that you won't burn it. And that's the same thing with the valve. So if they put sodium in it, so you've got the components that's going to keep them cool. And you know, one of the biggest enemy of an engine is the heat that it generates while using all its power. Talking about powers, it's 300 horsepower and you're gonna get 261 pound-feet of torque, and this torque is gonna be there at 4,400 RPM. And acceleration are good, but if you want all that power, you're gonna have to use Super 4 gas. It's mated to a CVT. Yes, I know, sports car and CVT, man. I don't know what they think. I would have hoped for an automatic transmission, a dual clutch, you know, something with a little kick, a little punch. But we've got the CVT. Man, this road is rough. And since we're in the SR model, we can feel the roughness of this road. I'll talk to you about that later. So mated to that transmission. The advantage with the CVT is that she's always ready to go, you know. As soon as you press on the accelerator, it's already at the perfect RPM for you. You don't have to mind about nothing. That's the same thing if you're gonna go on the highway cruise. So you're gonna simply roll and the RPM is always gonna be as low as possible to save you some gas. And you've got also a sports mode. As soon as you put it into sports mode, the reaction is going to be much quicker, you know, to select the perfect RPM for this car. You've got also a manual mode that you can switch in. You put your lever in manual mode, you've got your paddle shift right now, and it's going to emulate 7 speeds. So right now, first, second, see, it's not that quick. My problem when you are while you are driving this car with a performance taste is that when you downshift You want to feel the braking force of that engine, but you know, that's not quite happening. That's the little feeling that I'm not getting used to it right now. Besides that, for the transmission, it's doing an okay job, because remember, it's a 4-door sedan. So if you want to go bring some friends along, go on a trip, you're gonna have you know, comfort with that transmission, that's for sure. The car is a traction, so that's another problem in some sort of way, because when you're going into full speed, you can feel that torque steer in the steering wheel. And since you've got so much horsepower and it's quick to get in, so I'm gonna put it in first. There you go. Got my simulated speed because I left it in manual, and you can feel in the steering wheel, you know, the torque of the wheels. And we are riding on 19 inches wheels, you know, so the road, the minor imperfection that we have on the roads right now, you can feel it when you are driving. Since we have the SR model, we've got a good suspension, which is improved, and that's thanks to the sway bar, because the sway bar are bigger on this model. We've got also the biggest tire, the biggest wheels, and we've got also a kind of shock absorber, which is connected to the chassis of the car, which is gonna take all the you know, the vibration, and it's gonna act as a damper once again, and that's unique to the SR model. The shocks on this car are pretty unique. We're using monotube shocks, and that's race related. These are such shocks. So besides, if you take the base model, the road handling is quite good if you're on over bumpy surface, but right now I'm on the highway and I can feel those imperfections. So it's a first in the segment to have this kind also of shock, you know, related to the chassis. And one thing which is particular with this car also is its dynamic system. So it's gonna apply some brake force when you've got some road imperfection, so that in some sort of way the vehicle will stay, you know, will stay on the line. So if I roll this way and if I have a little bump which is gonna lift myself all there, the car is gonna apply some braking to bring me back closer on the ground, you know, with a straight line. And you can feel that system working. And if you're some kind of pilot which is, you know, who are lagging performance, you're gonna see the system act. It's even more obvious when you're going on quite bumpy road and you're going fast. You can feel the car working, and you know, that's a good thing for average driver. But for the guy who really likes performance and have all the control over their car, you're gonna feel that system working. Besides that, the braking is good for the car. You've got some big brakes, 12.6 inches in front, 12.1 and something inches at the back. As soon as you put in the brake, they're going to be able, you know, to take a good beating if you want. Besides that, for the comfort, everything has been think for the driver. So the cluster is clear. As soon as I put it in sports mode, you're gonna see also a red display. All the commands are near. The shifter is in the right position. I'm comfortable. I can pull my little adjustment right there on the seat to get more support. And zero gravity seats are good. I'm just sitting in this one and I'm already in comfort. Even if you're a large guy, a small guy, there's not too much lateral support when you're doing a performance driving, but that doesn't matter because you are so much in comfort, and the grip on the steering wheel is way awesome. Just the material, the finish that they made, and you know what? The best part of this Maxima anyway is its engine. When you step on it, man, it's just so fun to hear it roar. Look at that, guys. Man, such a quick acceleration. This car is fast, that's for sure. let's talk about the base price of the Nissan Maxima, $35,900. I think it's a pretty good price for what you get with the car. A big engine, nice performance, nice build quality. This is a fair price. There's a lot of other versions. You've got even the big platinum version. You're gonna have to pay $43,000 and over for that version. That's gonna add the panoramic roof, and you're gonna get the 360-degree camera. But for the version that we have right now, the SR, the suspension, which is sports, you've got your dynamic control, to give you the better performance out of the car. You've got even all the little shocks, monotube shocks on the car, bigger, stiffer bars, which is going to give you a great feeling while you are driving, and a lot of goodies inside. And I think it's a better version to choose right now. So this version is going to be around $42,000, which is going to include transport and preparation. If you want to compare the Maxima to other cars on the market, you've got the Buick LaCrosse, which is for little people, I think. You've got the Hyundai Azra, and it's causing the Kia Cadenza. Yes, but they're good, but they don't have, the performance offering that the Maxima is going to give you. You've got the Toyota Avalon, which is not a performance car, but you've got a lot of place for storage, that's for sure. You've got the some rear-wheel drive car also, the Chrysler 300, the Genesis series, which are quite different, but with the Hemi engine, man, the 300 is quite cool. You've got the TLX. That's probably the car where where you can compare the most to this car right now. But you've got all-wheel drive offered in the Acura, but I don't like the automatic transmission that you have with the V6 and all-wheel drive. So still on the market, you have the Audi A4, BMW 3 Series, and those cars are probably a little way ahead when you compare to performance, the communicative driving that you can get while you're at the steering wheel, but the price is a lot higher. So right now with the Maxima, I think it's a good compromise. That's why I'm gonna give it a B+. A few negative points with the space for the luggage, which come a little bit short when you compare it to other model. You've got the humidity in the lights. Okay, I told you that I won't take Nissan responsible for that. They might have been an impact, but right now I'm not sure. So, well, I'm not gonna say that negative point, but you've got the traction. 300 horsepower in the front wheels. That's a lot. Give me an all-wheel drive. Well, the plus point, the performance is awesome. When you step on it, the sound of the engine in sports mode, I just love it. You've got a good price for what you get with the car, and finally a unique look, and that's worth a lot of things. So there you go, guys. If you have any question about the test drive that we have done of the new Maxima, feel free to comment in the box right under that video. And if you have any other question, just ask us, because we are our question.